Candid camera.
Happy
Good
Monday.
Good evening, people. Welcome to Monday's edition of the Coffee Chat Show. Karen and I have been Zooming all day. So, yeah, the jury's still out about the evening edition, but we're trying it for the summer to see how we like it. Okay, we're waiting. We'll give it a few minutes. Notifications are going out. Last week, we talked about what happens when something you don't expect happens and how do you handle that with grace. I was trying to think if I was going to add anything to that. No, how do you handle that with grace?
Yep.
And tonight, we're going to talk about self-worth because we have a lot of people asking about that and talking about that to us in the group. We changed the name of the group. And I think it's called the Wheel of Change. I think the Wheel of Change. It's the group that goes along with the page, The Working Coach Mom. So Tracy is not with us tonight, so there'll be no dropping of any links. So everyone will just have to figure things out for themselves.
You got it.
But we're here. Tomorrow's Tracy's birthday. And she is celebrating her birthday with her son and her son's girlfriend. So, Missy, hi. Good to see you. Okay. So, we're going to talk about self-worth, self-esteem. I hear a lot of people saying that they have imposter syndrome, and that troubles me a little bit. So, that's one of the reasons that we decided to talk about self-worth tonight. I guess, tell me, imposter syndrome is feeling what? Like you're a fraud? Like you can't really do it? What is
it? It's a fake it. It's like you feel like you're doing something different than what you're really thinking or who you really are.
So it's a self-worth issue in essence.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't believe yourself, whatever you're portraying.
Okay. Anybody suffering from imposter syndrome out there? This is like a thing. I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it on LinkedIn. I'm seeing people doing articles about it, how to combat imposter syndrome. It's troubling to me. So I started thinking that maybe there's a lot more. Oh, Jen's suffering from it. Okay. There we go, Jen. All right, Missy's working on it. She had a coaching call with me a little while ago, and we were talking about that. Okay, that's good. So, yeah, it's troubling me because if you don't believe in yourself, how the hell is anyone else supposed to believe in you?
Yeah.
And if you don't, and I guess, I mean, my own version of this is, what I do with my own personal work and coaching people. I definitely probably devalue, what I ought to be charging people to coach with me, and what I charge. And so I actually hired an executive coach that started Friday was my first appointment. And I did that because I'm kind of reinventing Fortunato Partners and what that means. And I have shared in the small group the new logo, which is about driving change. And I talked last week about what I do is work with people. I drive change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And that's really the nature of my work with the business clients that I have for the consulting that I do and the C-suite positions that I hold in that consulting work. And then in my work with regular people, ladies, I specialize in working with women, obviously. That seems to be my key demographic. There's Red Betty. Just plain low self-esteem here, and it's situational. I do well at work, terrible with the type of relationships I attract. Okay. Interesting. So,
and I know.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, sorry. I scared the cat. So this whole imposter syndrome thing is troubling to me, right? If you guys don't believe in yourselves, if we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't believe in our value and our worth, how the hell is someone else supposed to believe in it? So if you don't believe that you're a valuable partner in a relationship, like, how is the other person gonna believe in that? And then I guess the real question is what happens when our self-worth is is low and our self-esteem is low, and how do we raise that vibration, and how do we raise that? And I think Karen has a good story for us.
I have a few, but I'll
Okay,
leave.
well, go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
leave with the one. Oh,
He's fine. That's Bagel the Beagle.
I live
Does
in
he
an
want to be on TV?
he's a 28-pound beagle, but he thinks he's
He
something
thinks
else.
he's super dog, and he hears
Yeah,
people in the
he's got an
hallway.
imposter of his own.
Yeah.
So actually, I have a different story, Noelle, than what I was telling you earlier. When I went to visit Noelle in person recently, we had a great week, and she's really great about, as a boss and as a mentor, giving you praise and constructive criticism, but like a lot of praise. Especially at that time, I was transitioning into managing a really important account that we have. So the night I was leaving, like the night before I was leaving, I was up thinking, oh, I better not F this up. I can't F this up. I can't F this up. And then I was speaking that into, that was my self-consciousness. And then long story short, I spoke that into existence, and then something got messed up. That was my fault. And Noelle had said, that's just your self-confidence or your self-worth, that you don't think that you're going to be able to sustain that. So that was really interesting. I was thinking about that right before we got on. But over this weekend, what I was telling her earlier is I was in Chicago for fun, and I went to this yoga class and really fancy studio. I mean, if you've ever been to one of these like fancy fitness classes, it's a little intimidating. And during it, I'm competitive in the sense where I'll look around to see, am I doing everything that everyone's supposed to do? And what I've started doing during these workout classes is literally repeating to myself, I love you. I'm proud of you. You're strong. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're strong. And I just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until I feel that I've let that thought go. So I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been saying I love you, me, and I'm proud of me a lot. It's working.
Is it working?
I've been doing it for 2 months, and I do it all day long. I really do. No BS. What Reed was saying is it's helped a lot in the relationship side because I don't really take a lot of shit anymore.
That's good.
My confidence is increasing in that. So yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I've been rereading one of Esther Hicks's books. I can't think of, I want to say Ask for What You Want and You Get It, or something like that. It's one of the Law of Attraction books. But I was really, lots of times we give attention to what we don't want, and we dwell on things that we don't want. And that's just like inviting them into existence, because whatever you're putting your energy on is what you're getting. So if you are, not you specifically, but if someone is like, oh, I'm suffering from imposter syndrome, if they're all hepped up about suffering from imposter syndrome or whatever that is, or their low self-worth, and so like they're dwelling in there, right? They're like going on and beating themselves up about how they shouldn't have it and how it shouldn't be like that. And that is just like saying affirmations to bring it into being, because the universe doesn't know the difference between your energy on something that you want versus your energy on something that you don't want. What the universe knows is your energy is on that, and then it starts to bring it to you. So it's just why in private coaching sessions or in small group coachings, I say, don't hate, and don't go on and on about how you dislike someone or something, or how you hate something or someone, or how you because all of that energy that you are putting on it in your dislike of it to the universe, that's just energy. You are literally, so the more that you are beleaguered about your self-worth, or you're saying I'm not good enough, or not, again, not you specifically, all of you, all of us, the more that we dwell on like, oh, we don't have self-worth, or we have to improve this, or like, it's just the same as inviting those things in. It's just the same as us getting some affirmation cards and saying, I have no self-worth, I have low self. I mean, it's just like doing affirmations to that end. So the answer in this is to make up those new stories and those new conversations. And then, like Karen's doing with the affirmations in her head, you have to literally like bring it into being by saying it to yourself over and over again until you start to believe it. And in the beginning, when you're saying your new affirmations of however you want it to be, like your monkey mind is going to be like, oh, you're so full of shit, you're fat, what are you talking about, you're thin, you're not successful, you're a loser. Like, be prepared for that, because it will happen. That voice that goes to the opposite will be there, filling you with a bunch of things that are not the truth about you. The beauty of all this is you get to choose what's the truth about you, and then whatever you put your energy on will actually become the truth about you. So I will I'll tell you this. Today we did a training. Karen and I did a team training, and the trainer that we brought in was like, tell us all something that nobody else knows about you. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all. You probably don't know this about me, but I do a fat roll check every morning in the mirror, which I know is like not a good plan, because I'm literally like keeping it probably that way because I am dwelling. But that is definitely, you know, in the mirror when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm assessing and evaluating like the, you know, the trajectory of the fat roll. Like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that last night, or, oh, I didn't eat that after 7. So that's good. So it's gone down, it's gone up.
It's like the same thing as the scale check.
Right. Oh, I do that too. That's the second phase of the fat roll conversation. That is, it's sad and ineffective, and I know this. And I have affirmations, you know, all over the bathroom mirror. In fact, the plumber came the other day to fix something in our bathroom, and I had to say to him, like, please don't mind my, because we actually have separate bathrooms. So I'm like, don't mind my bathroom, because the mirror is literally plastered like up one side, down the other, and down the other side. And I really didn't think about that until he went into the bathroom. Like, oh shit!
Don't read anything while you're reading.
With all this stuff on the mirror. And then he actually like came down. He's like, I like it. He's like, that's positivity. That's good stuff. I was like, okay, that's good. It's probably all over town now. You know, that lady up on the hill, she's got affirmations all over her bathroom. However, like that thing, like the fat roll check that I do, or the scale check that I do, like, I get it. I'm not helping anything, you know, by doing that. And I'm with the affirmations, I'm working hard to go in the other direction of nonsense like that. My point in sharing that with you is we all do it. I've been practicing, as you all know, since I was 12. I'm going to be 55. So like, I know better, still get stuck in that, you know, monkey mind, the story that it tells me, the things that aren't useful or helpful. Those things don't go away. It's progression, right? It's a process. You're not someday going to wake up and there's only going to be flowery conversations in your head. I don't think, you know. Now, will it happen more often? Yes, absolutely. Excuse me. Will the conversations get better and more like what you want to attract more of? Absolutely. Does it require consistency and work and effort on your part? Absolutely. You look like you want to say something.
Jonah Hill had a really great documentary on Netflix with his psychiatrist. And I forget what the theory was or what he came up with, but like essentially it's the, you know, the biggest misconception about therapy or self-help or whatever is that you're going to eliminate what you're doing. Okay. And he said you're never going to eliminate it, but it's going to get better. Like if you're thinking about it for 30 minutes, you're going to think about it for 15, and then you'll eventually think about it for 10, you think about it for 5. So I think that was super helpful for me, because I kept thinking, what is wrong with me? I can't get these thoughts out of my head, even if they're getting less and less, but they're never going to go away. They just, like you said, they get better. They get less. They get, you're able to manage it more. Jack, I know we're always going back to this book. I swear we should be sponsored by it at this point, but this book has the mirror challenge. Or I don't know if it's this book or the workbook, has the mirror challenge that I've been doing. So for 47 days, every night before I go to bed, for 3 minutes, I need to stare at the mirror. And it used to be so weird when I was first doing this. Stare at the mirror, talk about my day, talk about what I'm happy about, and then repeat, I love you, like for a minute.
Oh, wow. I'm not sure I could do that.
This is weird. My friend did it. She's in a 12-step program for ACA, and she said is really common in that program. So I thought, okay, I'm not the only person. But yeah, it's not as weird after a while. And then you start looking at yourself and your pores or whatever, and it's better. It just makes it more comfortable to look at yourself.
Right. That's kind of like Mel Robbins has the, high five thing.
Yeah.
That book she wrote and everything, that thing she's got going on. Red Betty. It is Success Principles. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield is the name of the book.
It's so great.
We had started working with that. We're not necessarily done working with it. We just realized it was getting a little monotonous. So we figured we'd switch it up with some different topics. And so we've just been monitoring what people have been talking about in the group that we have, the Facebook group. And there just seems to be a lot of, and I can just tell by the responses here, there's just a lot going on about self-worth. So how do you increase your self-worth if you don't have any? How do you increase your self-esteem if you have low self-esteem? It starts, like Karen was saying, by the conversation that you're having with yourself about yourself. And then it also is, start looking around you. Like, who are you keeping company with? What are they telling you? How helpful is that? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you putting up with that's unacceptable to you? Where are you saying yes to something that you want to be saying no to? Where are you allowing people to behave with you in a way that really is unacceptable to you, but you're letting it go because you don't want to confront them or you don't want to be unpopular with them or whatever the case may be. Priscilla's in another country, Karen. That's why she's in not the Bahamas. Priscilla, where are you? Not the Bahamas. She's in Antigua. I don't know. She's on the other side. She's like on the other side of the globe. So I don't know. What are some ideas that you have about how have you been raising? Because I know you had said that self-worth and self-esteem were, something that you're working on.
I'm super passionate about
and this. And she's in Antigua.
Oh, Antigua, nice. Glory stories, I use them. It's one of my favorite things you've taught me.
All right, we'll talk about that. I'll tell that story in a second. Go ahead. What were you
go?
A new tool. Yay.
What did you ask me?
This is what happens when we've worked all day and then we're trying to do a show.
I haven't drank soda in like months, but
where, like, who, what, huh?
I'm sorry. My ADHD kicked in anyways.
Now the cat's going to try to attack me because I'm laughing. Anytime my voice gets high pitched, he runs over here like,
yeah.
I was asking you what you've noticed about, working on self-esteem and self-worth and all that, besides the mirror exercise and besides telling yourself like new affirmations. What else has been working for you?
I delete social media 90% of my day. So I delete Facebook and Instagram in the morning or the night before, and then I'll re-download it for a little bit and then I'll delete it again. The second, for me, it's social media. Like I'm kind of at that age, like mid-30s, like my friends have kids, they have families, they have things going on or whatnot. So once I start to see those or get those thoughts, I delete it. So out of sight, out of mind for me. I've also, and I got this from you, not watching TV, especially during the week, and being very, very routine. I'm finding that's helping my self-esteem a lot. There's a bunch of shit that I'm doing. I read in the morning. I'm meditating a lot. Actually, a simple habit is the app I use, and they've got a lot of stuff on self-esteem. They have this one series called Love Yourself that I'm really into. And these, as always, the cards.
Yeah, right. My index. I just ordered new neon 5x8 cards.
Ooh.
Very excited. They're bright colors because it's time to change up the stuff on the mirror.
I will say, to sum it up, and I think what I wanted to get out was when I used to read about how to increase your self-worth or your self-esteem, and it would say repeat these things over and over again, I would do it like a couple times and nothing would happen and I would stop it. But once you make it a consistent routine for like a month or two, then it's like working out. Then you start to see the results. But like for years, I was like, I'm not doing all this. Like I'm not doing this. And
I worked out yesterday and I'm still fat. That's
where I was stuck. Like And it's taken months for me to start seeing it change. What a shocker.
I said I love you 5 times and I still feel
Why are you working? I said I was never going to talk to that guy again.
Oh, here he comes. It's okay. Everything's all right. Everything's okay. The high pitch, man, this cat, he's all over it. Okay, so a glory story is, my mom taught these to me. It's basically writing a paragraph about a situation or your life. I do it every morning. I have a journal that I actually just write in that. So it's writing it as if it's already happened. So Missy, particularly, she was traveling with her son for the first time. They were traveling for the first time in a while, I believe. And she wrote out a whole entire, how the trip was going to go, how the flights were going to go, how everything was going to go. And she had a magnificent time on that trip. She did not, Missy, correct me if I'm wrong here in the comments, but she neglected to write a glory story about the return trip or the flight home. And that's when all hell and chaos broke loose and they got stuck in an airport overnight. And she realized on a coaching session that we had that she had forgotten to write the other, she wrote the glory story for going out there and for how it was going to be when she was there. She neglected to write it when she was, for when she was returning. So what those glory stories do is it works by the law of attraction, right? Because you're speaking, acting, and writing as if it's already occurred. And then you're reading that to yourself. And if you're like Missy was, if you're working on a travel or a trip, like you can write a story about all of it, how it all turned out the way you wanted, and then start reading that, every day, maybe even a couple times a day to get yourself so that what you want to do is be able to visualize and feel your way into what you want to create. That's the real trick with all of this, because we can give lip service to it. We can say the words, and saying the words is a definite excellent first step. The hope is that saying the words will lead you to feeling the feelings that go along with those words. So I have plenty of money in the bank. My income increases every day in every way. Things are getting better and better. We start saying these things to ourselves. And after a while, we're like, oh, because here's the thing. In every moment, you have the opportunity to change the next. Because in every moment, how you feel right now in this moment is what's attracting your next moment and your next moment and your next moment. So in every moment, you have the opportunity to change to a higher thought. And you won't go from feeling really shitty to being euphoric. That's just, some people think like, oh, she's saying whatever, but I feel really depressed and shitty right now and I can't get to joy. Mm-hmm. No, you won't get to joy. You might get from depression to apathy, to anger, to frustration, to anxiety, and go up from there. So it's all about just choosing a thought that makes you feel better for how you feel in the moment. So however you feel in this moment, if you are feeling really worthless or like you're not contributing or like you're not good enough, you could think about something that will make you feel a little bit better and think that thought and then feel how that feels to think that thought. And then it's like a ladder, right? And then that gives you, then maybe you think another thought that's a little better than that one. It makes you feel a little better. And then there you go. And before you know it, you're climbing out of that pit, of depression or whatever is going on. It's cliche to say Rome wasn't built in a day, but that's really what it is. It doesn't happen overnight. I am very actively right now working on, one of the reasons that I hired a coach is because like I said, I'm changing the scope of the way that we market Fortunato Partners. And I told my coach, I very much want to get to a place where I just wake up in joy every day, no matter what's happening. I have enough evidence to be able to say after 3+ decades, it all works out. Whatever it is, it all works out. It all works out. So I personally want to start waking up in it all works out.
Mm.
And then when something floats by in an email or in the mail or what, it's like, it all works out. Because honestly, if we approached each situation coming from every day in every way, it's getting better and better and it all works out, like, wouldn't that just change your whole life?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just change everything? And as I approach my 55th birthday, like, that's really where I want to be. I have enough hard work put in and enough evidence proving it. I have enough of everything to be able to now discipline myself into a place where I am just in joy and in it all works out. And that will transform everything else,
Yeah.
including the people that I, deal with every day. And so that's really what I'm working on. For me, that's a pretty high level. But I just happen to be at that place in my practice, right? Where I'm always looking at, okay, what can I do to level up? Because how else can I talk to you guys about leveling up from where you are if I'm not looking at leveling up from where I am, which is one of the reasons I hired the coach, because I want to be able to be that. I want to not think it, not know it. I want to emanate from that place. I want to be that. And that's where I'm a doer. I've been a doer my whole life. I know how to do the tasks. I know how to say the affirmations. I know how to give you the tools. I know how to do the show. I know how to do all the things. I am not good at just being, because that is just a really high level of practice. And I keep thinking there's something I should do. And I very much know that I'm at this place in my life where it's time to become a master at being. And I am just still, I'm probably a little better than a novice. So I'm probably a moderate. Michelle, not to ruin the ending, but it'll all be okay.
Spoiler.
So yeah, it's a practice. You just have to practice, and you have to be consistent, and practicing your own value and your own self-worth. It's no different than trying to manifest more money or manifest a new job. It's no different than that. The same steps are required and the same level of consistency and discipline are required. It's hard work.
It is.
To change is, it's hard work in that it's consistent. It's not hard like we are on a factory line and we have to pack 1,800 boxes in 20 minutes. It's not hard like that. It's hard like when your mind wants to tell you something that's not on the train of where you want to go, you have to be vigilant in pushing it in the other direction. And that gets tedious, and consistency is hard for a lot of people. Because like you said,
I struggle with consistency my whole life.
After I did it with a couple of days, it should be fixed by now.
My whole life I've struggled with consistency. And what I can say is once you see a little ounce of results, just a smidge, it's such a change if you struggle with consistency, and it's so motivating. It really is. But I struggle with it every day. Before this, I was trying to do my workbook for Success Principles. All I wanted to do was nap, really. But you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to do it. Even if you say, okay, I'm going to do it for 10 minutes. That's it.
Right.
And then you'll go and do it, whatever, for 30.
Yeah, exactly. Because as soon as you get down,
you're already doing it.
Right. You're like, well, I'm already doing it. I might as well just keep doing it. So the news we have for you guys in closing is you have to value yourself, because if you don't value yourself, nobody else is going to value you. And it's really no one else's job to value you. It's your job to value you, because here's the news. When you start to value you and you realize what you're worth and that you're a contribution to people, you'll stop putting up with the people that don't value you. And it won't be a problem anymore, because you just won't want them in your life, and you'll just move yourself away from those situations.
Yeah.
So Angie's saying consistency is a struggle for her too. I think consistency is a struggle for everyone.
It is.
But like Nike's motto, right? Just do it. that's pretty much what it comes down to. I mean, it doesn't matter about the story. It doesn't matter about your feelings. It just matters if you get it done. And that goes for affirmations, for using the tools, whatever the case may be, whatever there is for you to use to get yourself to where you want to go. It's the consistency of using that tool or that affirmation or reading that book or whatever, whatever the thing is, whatever the action is that you're taking, is the consistency in that action. All right. Well, any closing remarks, Miss Karen?
Well, I just thought of, and I can't think of the quote, but it's something about wanting to be uncomfortable. I've been working with recently. Like being comfortable just keeps me the same. So being uncomfortable. I don't want to go to the gym tonight, but I'm going to. Like I really don't want to go. But I had that goal. I'm working out 4 times a week till the end of the year. So
that's awesome. Is it working?
I'm like a number person. So I'm like, all right, like I only have 1 time this, so far. I need 3 more.
Well, that's good. Michelle says, know your worth. The same bottle of water costs more in different stores. Your self-worth varies depending on the scenario you're in and the people you are with. Surround yourself and put yourself in situations where you know your worth.
I love that. The bottle of water costs different in every store. I know. I paid $4 yesterday at the airport.
That's crazy. All right, you guys, if you have questions, join our group. You can find it if you go to the Working Coach Mom and go to groups associated with the page. You can find it from there. It's called the Wheel of Change. Michelle says her typing sucks. It's actually due to Michelle and who was the other person? Maribel, that helped me with the new name for the group.
Nice.
Because I just wasn't happy with the uplifting women thing I took advice from someone who builds out Facebook groups, and they thought, a long and convoluted name attracts more people, but I disagree. I tried it on for a while and I just think it was too long. So we will be back next Monday night. Our viewership has gone down since we've switched tonight, so I am thinking about putting us back in the morning in the fall, maybe even back to a weekend. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But Karen's more of an evening person. I'm both, so maybe we should pick a different night. Maybe Monday night's not a good night. Anyway, we'll stick with Monday nights through the summer. Then maybe we'll take a poll, and maybe we'll change up for the fall in September. So we will see you guys next Monday night. Have a great week. And remember, you don't value yourself. Nobody else is going to value you either. And you are worth a lot. And it's time that you started acting like it, for sure. Jen says she'll watch anytime, any day. Thank you, Jen. All right. Have a good week, you guys.